Susan, you're gonna be so sad when I have to go to the city today. Oh no. I'm gonna miss you so much. It's a Saturday morning. We're in New Haven. Made some killer coffee. And we're going to New York City today. All my babies are fed and watered. And I got a simple little messenger bag. Packed super light when I'm traveling. So excited. We're going to the Brooklyn Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. Bike is secured. In the shade, ready to go. Let's do it. Oh shit, watch out for the banana peel.
Train 6525 to Grand Central Terminal, scheduled to depart at 10:45 a.m. on track 12.
Oh, we got puppies on the train. All aboard. Oh my god, what a cutie. So that was the cutest puppy. He's not getting on my train though, sadly. So the next train's at 11:25. The train is here. All aboard. Oh man, I see it. We're here. Packed today. Brooklyn Bridge has a ton of really cool stories attached to it. John Roebling built it back in 1869. One of my favorite engineers. So he was actually bedridden for most of the build of the Brooklyn Bridge, and his wife Emily Roebling was like a true hero. Emily Roebling actually controlled the whole job site and relayed all of his messages from his bed, essentially. She's the one that really made this happen. Yeah, so it's a suspension, cable stayed, truss hybrid. So these are actually the cable stays. They actually figured out how to spin the cables together on site, and was totally an innovative design for the suspension part. It's funny, so those are actually like, they look like pop screens. So those are actually meant to keep people from climbing up the bridge, climbing up on the suspension wires. But you can see they have the ropes all the way up across the top. So that's actually like, the inspector will actually walk along that all the way up to the top. I haven't done it yet, but that's the goal someday, to go all the way up there. Iconic, man. The first crossing over the East River, too. Imagine how many people have been over this thing. It's mind-blowing. This is actually one of the first bridges where the workers started to get the bends when they would go down in the pier caissons when they were drilling down into the bedrock. And they had no idea what was happening, but it had to do with the depressurization as you go down underneath. And people were getting like really sick, and Roebling actually was one of the guys who got the bends, and it basically paralyzed him. Super sad. I think a couple guys died from that too, but they learned a lot. They figured out what that was. All right, we're heading into Brooklyn now. Starving and need some coffee. That's the current plan. And I am underdressed for this day. It is cold up here on the bridge. It's always about 10 degrees colder on or under a bridge than when you're on land. So I'm on the hunt for probably a beanie, maybe a Carhartt beanie of sorts, and food, coffee. So yeah, they call this Anchorage Plaza. So this is the huge concrete anchor that holds back all the tension from the suspension wires. So the suspension cables, they come in here and they actually get anchored and embedded into, this is probably just a huge block of concrete in there. I think that they actually used to rent out space in there as like a wine cellar, essentially, like a bunch of local restaurants can store their wine in there. It holds back all the tension that the cables are undergoing. Nice little truss, yeah. All the forces come right in here, dissipated right into the ground through the anchorage. So we're under the bridge, heading over to Manhattan. Just grabbed a quick bite to eat at Shake Shack. Got the portobello mushroom burger. It's pretty solid. Yeah, we under. Oh man, you can see the Williamsburg now. And that's the Williamsburg Bridge way off in the distance. Woo, it's cold out here to give you this shot. But Brooklyn Bridge, first ever tattoo. This is not a bridge, this is a scaffold. This is the bridge. So we're walking under the Manhattan right now. That's where the anchorages are for the Manhattan Bridge. Same idea as the Brooklyn with the suspension ties coming in. This is where they're anchored. We're gonna go get some coffee because I am freaking freezing up in here. All right, so we're out in Williamsburg, South Williamsburg, at the Williamsburg Bridge. Little pedestrian path here on this side. Not gonna go up very far, but definitely wanna just go scout it out.
Williamsburg Bridge, also one of my favorites. If you couldn't tell, these are 3 of my favorite bridges. But yeah, Williamsburg Bridge. It's way too cold to keep walking. I'm not going back to Manhattan. Woo! Suspension bridges, the cables work in tension. The deck's basically just there to help with lateral forces and some of the dead load, but the suspension part is mainly for the main span. That's the one that's like 1,600 feet long and stuff, most of the time, give or take. But Williamsburg Bridge is actually bigger than the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, it was built like about 1900, and it was the second one across after the Brooklyn Bridge, across the East River into Manhattan. It's named after Williamsburg, which is the neighborhood on the Brooklyn side that it ends in. And that's, it's kind of like the hipster capital of the world. And so naturally I wanted to live there when I was like 20 years old. So I lived in Williamsburg for a couple years, and then I lived in Bushwick for another probably 4 years. So it was about 6-7 years total in New York, and mostly just in Brooklyn off the L train. So this is kind of my old hood. Well, this place might not look like a lot to you guys, but I remember when I was like 19 years old, stepping off the L train at the Bedford stop and just being in awe of this place. Back then, 2007, 2008, it's just like a catwalk. This was the place to live back then. It was so cool. It was like still really kind of, it was right during the recession and everything, but everything was super cool and local, and it was kind of really before like the internet took over everything. But this place is like, this street means a lot to me here on Bedford. I spent a lot of time here and had a lot of good times. Another one of my spots, McCarran Park. Man, we used to come and just go to the turkey's nest, and they had like a grandfather clause where you get the styrofoam cups. I bet they still do that. Yeah, see the styrofoams? So you get the styrofoam cups and then you bomb over to the park. That's how it works. Oh man, look at this sprinter. Oh, I want you. Yeah, this is McCarran, man. We used to come and just hang out here. Bunch of broke kids hanging out in McCarran Park. Like, we would post up over here on the side, and they would hit softballs into us and stuff, but dude, sickest sprinter ever. Stumbled upon Carhartt Paradise here in the middle of Brooklyn. Carhartt, let's do it. Sun is going down really fast. We're in Greenpoint. It's super nice. Popped in my friend's pop-up, and she's not even here anymore, but that's okay. She's probably just down the street. I'm gonna go meet up with her and then go crash with some friends. Got a new Carhartt hat, super excited about. Lost my black one from last year, so gotta get that fixed up. Thanks a lot for walking around Brooklyn with me today. Checked out some cool bridges, think got some good shots, and in the future we can come back and do more bridges here. I'm sure we can, but it was super fun. Thanks a lot for coming along with me today, and if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, and maybe I'll keep making these terrible videos, but no. But if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, give me some feedback, let me know what you'd like to hear, and I'll see you next time. Bye.